All right, there we go. I'm just going to get rid of the fancy microphone and use the built-in computer microphone. So you should be able to hear me now. I should be going. Welcome to the 800 subs live stream. I'm your host, Eric Barassa. Yes, that's me, and here I am still. It's gonna be time to update that picture pretty soon. So let's talk while there's nobody here about what we got upcoming on the channel and sort of what's been happening. Number one is I'm gonna continue releasing new music. I've got three more songs from the boop a doop a doop a doop boop boop, my instrumental guitar shred punk album, Boracic Park, and then after that I'm gonna get into a vocal punk rock album. Had a great gig with my punk band yesterday, and then somebody's here. Cool. All right, we got some. Maybe it's Blessed Heavy Elements again. Um, and let's see. Uh, I've got a lesson on natural harmonics coming up. I'm going to be doing a series on more basic fundamentals, as well as I'm going to continue to do some Satriani and yes, punk. Blessed heavy elements. I don't know what you mean by the question punk. I don't know if that means are you going to do some punk rock, or are you punk rock, or punk? Um, well, I don't know if that's a request. I'm not sure. If you could elaborate, that'd be great. But yes, punk rock is a big part of my life. I was listening to some hot water music this morning. If y'all ever listen to the album Caution, that's a great one. Had not heard that in your music to date. Good to hear. Well, so my music is pretty influenced by Joe Satriani and like pop punk of the late '90s, and like Third Eye Blind, which is more like alternative rock. But lately, I've been trying to really get into the space of shorter, more concise pop punk music with lead guitar and some shred guitar elements on top of it. Because I always thought that was something that was missing from the punk rock that I grew up listening to. You'd have really catchy songs, or I'd be listening to like really weird shred guitar, like Steve Vai and Greg Howe and Joe Satriani and Yngwie Malmsteen and these guys that were playing really cool guitar playing. But then it kind of loses my interest after a while. So I thought, what if we had like 3.5 minute songs, maybe sometimes 2.5 minute songs that are just very concise, like riff, verse, chorus, guitar solo, outro, and you've got these like it's all instrumental. So the melodies are simple and catchy, but they're being played by guitar. So it's like instrumental pop punk. And I think a big part of that is number one, my love of Joe Satriani. I'm like, cool, instrumental. I can do that because I'm not that great of a singer, but I think it's time for me. And of course, this is what nobody wants to hear is some great guitar player saying, I'm going to sing now. But I feel I've never been able to find a singer who would sing like my music. So I have a lot of vocal like punk rock tunes, and I want to do those. So I got to get it out of my system, right? So that's what's going to be coming up next, and then I'm going to continue transcribing like Joe Satriani, and when Blink releases a new album. And then I haven't decided if I'm going to do like a series on like 90s guitar songs or just easy guitar songs. But definitely, I'm going to be doing that like kind of fundamentals series covering things like natural harmonics, artificial harmonics, power chords, some things that kind of apply to everybody. And then I'll continue to do some more like advanced niche topics as well. So that's sort of my plan. But you guys that are here with me, I'd love if you have a question for me. I'm all ears. You can ask me about my gear. You can ask me about my new Parker nitefly that I got yesterday. You can ask me about my life. You can ask me about whatever. But we're at the 5 minute mark. So my plan was, if we didn't have anybody asking questions, I'd probably just ramble on for 5 minutes or so and then jump off. Because when you got 800 subs, you don't expect a lot of people joining you live. But still, I'm excited. All right, Blessed Heavy Elements writes, how did you get into Parker's? You got another one, Envy. Okay, so here's how I got into Parker's. I heard a guitar player named Dave Martone from Canada, and I got into him because he did a series of lessons where he was interviewing Joe Satriani. This was like 10, 12 years ago. Oh my gosh, this was almost 15 years ago. And and come to find out, Dave and Joe would sometimes jam in these instructional videos that I purchased. And I was like, who is this guy? So I looked him up and I was like, what are those weird guitars? And he had a Parker Fly. And I was like, that is the coolest thing ever. So I managed to find this one. This is a 95 Parker Fly. And this was back in like 2008, 2009, and maybe even 2010. And I got this for $660 on eBay, which is really hard to believe because a 95 Parker Fly right now goes for a minimum $3,000. But they were not very expensive back then, like tops 12, $1,500, maybe $1,800. But like that was like the max for a used guitar, a used Parker guitar at that point. So I got it, and one of the things was someone had busted this up back here and then repaired it themselves, and it just looked not very good. And this guitar was completely blue. So if you ever look at like my very first YouTube videos from 10 years ago, it was blue and it was starting to chip. So I was like, we need a new paint job. So I got a custom paint job, upgraded the pickups, and then I have owned a total of 5 Parker guitars. I then purchased a 97 Fly that was gold. And I had it for a little while, but I was like, I thought it was cool to have 2 of them, but I was like, oh, they're the exact same. I don't really need it. So I sold it. And then a few years later, I found a 2014 Parker Fly in lime gold. And I got that puppy brand new for $2,200. I couldn't believe it because they were going brand new for 33. But Parker Guitars was like declining at that point. Nobody cared. Nobody was into them except for me and maybe a handful of diehards. And so I had that guitar for a while, and I just had this guilt. I loved it, but I had this guilt of like, I shouldn't have to. So I sold it. The eternal mistake we keep making as guitarists. What are we thinking? And then I had a silver nitefly. Yeah, I know. Blessed Heavy Elements. Indeed. Um, it was like a 98 or a 99 Parker Nightfly, which is more of like a Strat style. It's a bolt on. It's got a little bit thicker neck than this, but it still resonates and feels and sounds like a Parker Fly, just with a little bit more of a Strat sound to it, like if Parker did a Strat. And I love that guitar. Bought it for $600. And then like 6 months later, same thing happened. I was like, I don't need this many guitars. I need to simplify. And I sold it for $600, made my money back. And now, of course, they go for a minimum of $1,200. So I was at my local music go round, which is a couple miles down the house or down the street from me. And they had a red Parker Nightfly. I'm like, I don't really want a red Parker Nightfly. I was like, but you know what? These things are kind of rare. And I can at least do a good YouTube video on the Parker Nightfly, and then I'll probably sell it. So I may regret selling the Parker Nightfly, but let me grab it real quick. I'll show it to you. Here comes the Parker Nightfly. So the look of this is growing on me, though. I think it's not that I don't like red. I don't really like the red wood grain. I don't know. It doesn't do it for me. But I tell you what, seeing this here in the light, I really dig it. So I dig what it can do with the switches and everything. But you can see it's got the carbon fiber glass composite neck and fretboard, a little bit thicker than the Fly. See, I don't know if you can tell, but it's definitely a thicker neck, but still a really flat fretboard. I don't know what pickups are in this. So I bought this for $1,400, and then what I'll do is I'll probably keep it for a month, and then I'll sell it. Um, and just because I'm not yeah, much. Yeah. If I can sell it locally, I'll sell it for 14. If I sell it online, I'll sell it for 15. Shouldn't be a hard time selling it. So, not something I necessarily want to keep long term, but man, I played the crap out of this thing yesterday and I really liked it. So, I'll be doing a YouTube video on this. And I'll keep doing some gear reviews because I enjoy doing that. I enjoy doing like pickup shootouts and things. So that's a good time. Anyway, that's the story of the Parker. So this is now the fifth Parker that I have ever owned. And the ones I wish I still had, I wish I still had that 2014 Parker Nightfly in lime gold, for two reasons. Number one, because I really loved it. But number two, it would be cool to do an updated video of my most popular video and most hated, which is it's got like 33,000 views. And it's me saying why the new Parkers are better than the pre-refined Parkers. Whoo! People just crap all over that one, still to this day. And that video is like 6 or 7 years old, maybe 5 years old. Um, so it'd be fun to do an updated video of that one if I can ever get it. It's hard to find. I mean, it's hard enough to find an old Parker Fly, but to find a newer one from like the 20 teens, like past 2008, that's really hard to find. So, and then I wish I still had my silver Nightfly. I mean, it plays exactly the same as this. So this feels. I mean, it's just like playing silver one. I just like it in silver better. So, but those you can't find one in silver at all at this point. So if a silver Nightfly ever comes up, man, you gotta jump on that. You can find them in the red transparent and the blue transparent and black and white, and tobacco sometimes, but I never see a silver one on the market. So anyway, oh, the resonance of that baby! I tell you what. All right, any other questions? Otherwise, I'm gonna wrap this puppet up and see y'all on the flippity flop. Okay, cool. Well, good to see you guys here. And stay tuned. Thank you guys for 800 subs. I know it's not like a big deal, but growing a YouTube channel is a lot of work and a lot of testing and sort of figuring out what works and what doesn't. But the most important thing is I try to have fun. I try to pick things that I really enjoy doing. So I'm going to keep doing that. And hey, cool, Nicholas, great, good. I'm glad that was good info. I think I'm going to be doing some more stuff with Parkers because there's definitely a community that still loves the Parkers. Um, Stay healthy and see ya. All right, cool. Okay, see you guys later, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.